Hello there, welcome back. Welcome back to Technology Innovation Hub. So it's going to be another session from microservices portal. So let's continue our application. And remember, the previous practical was to we just stopped by building the pom.xml file. We add the starter web dependency, right? And so let's continue to build our application, right? So let me share my screen. All right, so this is yeah, actually I have done a small change here. You also can try it out. This is again for you to get familiar with these Windows package management tools. I think I have been doing because the very first time I introduced to the scope tool, and the next time I introduced to the chocolate tool, right? Now this little bit of uninstalling and reinstalling likewise. So what I have done here, I have removed the Spring CLI from Scoop, right? You can see I am uninstalling and putting it back from Chocolate, because from Chocolate also we can, because Maven also on Chocolate, right? We install Maven also to Chocolate. So better to keep the, Spring CLI also to Chocolate, because these two are going to get integrated while running the application. There is no harm keeping on Scoop, but anyway, we don't need to have any unexpected issues coming in. So better to keep it since you are doing in the practical as a beginner, right? It's okay to experiment, but it's your choice. But this is, I'm just telling you how to uninstall and installing it back to Chocolate, the Spring Boot CLI. So Choco install Spring Boot CLI will allow you to install that one, and it will continue like this, the installation. Then you need to approve the installation, download and installation, and it will continue, and it automatically downloads Java. This might take 2 to 3 minutes depending on your internet speed, right? The Java, and it's just installing Java and setting the path and everything is doing automatically. Finally, it says Java because it's installing JDK here. If we just take a look at right now, the Java runtime is putting JDK, right? And take a look at here, and it's finishing JDK, and 2 packages will get installed, right? So finally, if you want to see in our Chocolate environment, now let's see, if you go to C, this is my default place of where Chocolate is there, C program data, and I have the place Chocolately, and in that Chocolately, I have this .chocolate folder, so all the things downloaded which are available here, right? So you can see at the moment JDK 8 is there, and Maven is downloaded, and Spring also there, right? So all are managed by Chocolate in our Spring environment at the moment. So it's a better position, right? Okay, so once it's done, right? So then we need to verify it. We know that we can just run the Spring command to verify. So it's working fine, and output will say like this. All right, then just to check back our previous lesson, on lesson 2, right, we created this, remember our pom.xml file, right? You may remember the pom file initially had only this starter parent, right? After that, we added starter web, right? So that is this is the full pom.xml file where we need this one to run our application. Right? So after that place, we are fine. We have environment. So the next step is let's run our small application, right? So you can see I have given the details again. Let's build the application. So to finish the application, we need to create a single Java file. That's true. By default, Maven compile. These are very important things because we are everything doing manually initially, not through IDE environments like Spring Tools, right? So these things are hidden for us if you do it through IDE. So as a beginner, you should know what is happening behind, right? So, and what it says, by default, Maven compiles sources from src main Java. You know these things, right? Because you may remember, even when you're running from IDE environment, the same folder structure is there. Now it's automatically get created because we go to spring.io and we download the project and we unzip the zip file, and then we open to the IDE. Then automatically comes into this folder structure. Right? But now here we are doing everything manually. So therefore we have to create this folder structure manually in our wherever the place we are going to run our maintain our Spring application. Right? So source main Java. So you need to create the directory structure and add the file, right? So then what we can do, the Java file, which is our main class and the other contents for the Spring application, right? So that is where the Spring application name, main, my any name, doesn't matter, my application.java, that's fine, right? And it is located inside that particular folder, Java folder, right? So we have these things. So for if you take a look at the folder structure, it will be something like this, right? So I have created the content. You can see here. Yeah. Okay. This is my. You remember, even in the previous practical, we used the same folder, Springboot. So in that, I have this source folder, right? And within the source folder, I have main and Java, right? So I'm inside my that folder. You can see within that I have created my application.java. So that is the way the folder structure is going to be, right? So I mean, no big deal. Just open admin PowerShell window and just create this folder, or else even you can browse and we are in Windows, no? So you can browse and just create the folder structure. That's it, right? And I am in this one, Springboot src main Java. So within this one, create my application.java and make sure .java extension, right? That is a must. Otherwise, there can be issues, right? I'll tell you what are the problems it can happen, right? Okay, and because we are going to have our application name with this name and with the same name and the class name as well, right? Okay, so that's the folder structure. So if I get back to the explanation, this is our simple application, right? Again, hello world, whatever you can say, because I mean, this is, we are getting familiar. We don't have to worry about what this is going to display, right? It's a web application. That's why we included web starter dependency, right? So if you take a look at that, the application content, the import and all these are, we know, to support our annotations. We have the REST control annotation, and again enable auto configuration, right? It's a very important one, which enable automatic configuration depending on the rest of the annotation within our Spring application, right? And again, now REST controller, we have this relevant, the REST controller project content, right? I think I have explained these things under this microservices industry overview. You may remember we went into the content as well. We went into the Spring project as well, right? And we checked the content, right? Check the content of these projects. So that is why, I mean, every this annotation will have a dependency project behind it. So we are calling importing that content using import. All right, this request mapping is to say it's there's a API endpoint, because we are mapping this URL, right? So I mean, it just slash. We haven't given any content, any name here. So the endpoint will be just localhost, whatever the port, the default port is 8080 for Tomcat. So it's the endpoint mapping for the web URL, right? Request mapping, right? So right. So and this is our main class. I think we know that. So you can see it is just passing our application, my application. So that's the name we have given. So it is passing it as a variable, right? So all right. So that's a very simple application we are going to run. Right. So then what we can do? Okay, let's run the application and see the output. Okay, one more thing. So if you want to get a better comprehensive explanation with regarding to that, so we can go to the, let me show you the documentation. It has the same explanation. So if you go here, yes, you can see, and it has a very comprehensive explanation given, similar to what I just did. What is the REST controller, request mapping annotation and all, right? And you can see the enable auto configuration, right? The second class level annotation. This annotation tells Spring Boot to guess how you want to configure Spring based on jar dependency. That is that since Spring Boot starter web, right? That is the web enable our dependency, right? Added Tomcat and Spring MVC. Yes, But it says, let's check again. Based on the jar dependencies that you have added, yeah, the dependency, and this is one of the dependency. Since Spring Boot starter web, right? Added Tomcat 10 Spring MVC. Yes, because this automatically enable and it call in the embedded Tomcat server, which is in the Spring framework, and again is enable the MVC structure, right? The model view control structure, right? So we will learn this stuff more detail later, the MVC structure, and the auto configuration assumes that you are developing the web application and sets this up Spring accordingly. So that is what. So you can go through these things more detail. This is it explains the theoretical part, and again about the main method as well, right? The final part of the application is the main method. This is the standard method. We know that one. I mean, any Java application will have the main method. That is the starting point for the Java application, right? And it says Spring application bootstrap our application starting Spring, which in turn start auto configuration Tomcat server. Yes, because we need to pass I explained the same thing, so you can just go to that. Our main method delegates to Spring Boot's Spring application, right? Class, Spring application class by calling Spring application bootstrap Spring application bootstrap our application starting. Yeah, you can just read it. If I won't explain, I'm just trying to do it quickly, but I just explain the same thing. What is this? Our main method delegates to Spring Boot Spring application class, right? By calling run dot Spring application, right? Bootstrap our application starting Spring, which in turn starts auto-configure Tomcat server, right? So that's the same thing that I explained earlier, because we are just if you go to our main method, right? So this is what it says, right? Public main argument, right? So this is calling, right? This is the same thing. Explain Spring application dot run, right? And it's passing this our application name as a variable, right? So and again we have our application name the same way, our class, right? That is what is calling here. And we need to make sure we are saving our application name also using the same name, because it refers to that, right? We can handle it in a different way, but initially just do that way, right? Just save your application name, the .java file, right? .java file with the same name, right? Okay. Right, so go through these explanations as well, right? So start an auto configuration, the main method. Okay, right. Now it's time to run the application. You can run it, right? So what we can do, we can go to PowerShell, and we have the environment, right? As I explained earlier, we have the, okay, if I just want to go through it again from the browser, let's go to Windows directories as well, right? So this is my environment. So in my deep folder, I have very simply Spring Boot, right? I have source folder, right? I have main folder. In that I have Java. So I have my application.java file. Right? This is what the content is same, right? If you take a look at it, and there's the same content, right? And other than that, I have, if you go back again, the form.xml file is here. Form.xml file, the same file which I just showed you, where we have the starter parent and starter web, only two dependencies. That's it, right? So these initial things for auto configuration is required. That's fine, and that is there under Spring Boot directory, right? It's fine. You can move it, but keep that structure. So and because when you run the command, okay, let's run it. So that's the folder structure. So the command we need to run is this, right? Maven, because it's a Maven based build, we have a form.xml file, and we are calling Spring, CLI is installed, Spring Boot, and we are telling run. So what's going to happen? So we have the content in source main.java, which is looks by default as I explained earlier. So it is trying to execute our my application.java file, right? So my application.java file is, we have that one here, right? The same folder, it is planned execute, right? And where is a form.xml file? So form.xml file is our in our within Spring Boot, right? If you go down, right? One more, let's right. So this is where our Spring our form.xml experience, right? All right. So let me try to execute it from here, right? Within this folder, I'm trying to execute. So let's try it and see Maven Spring Boot.run, right? Yeah, so since I have run it once, so no harm is executes, no problem. But for you, it might take a little bit of time because it needs to download all those jars and a lot of dependency downloads will take place. So it will keep on going. At the end only, the first thing is it needs to build the form.xml properly, right? And it needs to download those dependencies in order to run the Spring application. So first it will go on and download those things, right? After that only, it will come to the our Java application execution. So at the moment it's running. So because it's a web application, it will hold the screen like this. I can just go to the browser and pretty simple. I can just say localhost. So it will just display hello world. So that is what, right? It's not completed. Let's see. All right. Right. Okay, but what was that? These are servlet. Servlet was handling. I just have to press enter. Doesn't matter, right? Anyway, Tomcat server started, so that is what. So by default, is there's embedded Tomcat server. So it is started, and now you can see hello world, right? So that is what. Okay, right. So that is a very basic application that we are doing, and similarly, let me do some changes and show you. So right, I'm breaking it off and getting away from it. Yes, right. Okay, now if we want to, let's say now I executed from this place, no, where my form.xml is located, right? So let's go to our folder src and main Java, right? So let even though I will execute from there, right? Well, I have the build already, so therefore it won't make any difference. But I just want to show you. Now what? There was a failure, right? So anyway, that's better that you can learn it, right? So I just executed from here, where in that place, I don't have the form.xml file. So these are the issues that's coming when you're running from the command line, right? Because it's what it says. It says, yeah, no plugin found Spring Boot. Yeah, no plugin Spring Boot. The current project and plugin groups Apache Maven. Yeah. So that means what it is unable to locate the dependency. That's what it says. So I mean, if you search this error, you can see, but from experience, that experienced person will get to know this is unable to locate the where dependency. That means can't locate the form.xml file. So my form.xml file is yeah, it was in a different direction. So either I had to copy it here, or I had to go there and run. At the best practice is run execute from where your form.xml file is located, because anyway Maven is going to look for this default folder structure of source main and all, right? So you have that structure. So keep your form.xml in the base directory, right? Either Spring Boot or I mean whatever project, Spring Boot or project directory, and from there execute like that. So then there won't be any issue. Okay, let's start, right? So this is the same structure. So if I just show you, I mean, a Java application which is developed from, let's say, IntelliJ or somewhere, let me show you the same structure, right? You know that I have, so we have gone through that one in the previous in the industry overview, no, right? Yeah, let's check microservices here. So now this is a course app. Yeah, this is application which is done from IntelliJ, right? You can see source, right? I have source, I have main, under that I have Java, then this home organization, and I have the app name here, FutureEX, and course app likewise. So that's the internal structure of the application, right? But we don't need to go that much, right? And if you come here, you can see the same folder structure is there, right? Source, main, Java, right? And where is my form file? My form file is located in the main folder, right? Main means the root folder, not the main, the root folder, right? So source and all comes as some subfolders after that, because CoSep is my main project folder. This is my main project name, right? CoSep. So under that only the form.xml file is located, right? So we better follow the same structure. So that's why I'm telling here to follow the same structure, keep the form.xml file under root, right? Take it, right? Under root means where our project starts, this place. Okay, that's what. All right, so hope you we are learning little by little the Spring application building up. And actually, if you don't understand these things in great detail for the time being, the annotation, REST controllers and all, so don't worry, I'm coming to these things in more detail. Now this initially what I want to, I need you to make familiar with the environment, what is happening in the backend when you're doing practicals, not the theoretical part. Theory we will cover after that, right? So let's, I'll be coming to more detail about REST controllers and APIs and all. Let's cover that one. Endpoints and those things might be next session we might be able to cover, because now we have a certain understanding on practically how a Spring application is running, right? Because we install Spring CLI, we install Maven, right? And we execute those things, right? Form.xml file and the folder structure. Now we have a little bit of understanding, right? So I think now we can explain a little bit of theory part is how these endpoints and everything communicates each other. Okay, right. All right. So I think we can end it up here. Hope you like the video. So if you liked it, you can put a subscribe. So I'll meet you soon in the next session. All right. Have a nice day. Right? Bye bye.